Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Penny Lane podcast. In today's episode, Blaine is joined by Shark, Bofo, and Ryan from Tradewell. They go over the importance of journaling and showcase the many journaling and flow tools that Tradewell has. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you to our sponsors, Pennies Going in Raw, Aries Broker, and Last Bottle Wines for supporting the show. Enjoy.
The stock market is hotter than ever right now, and traders are taking advantage. But what does that mean for the people who still haven't started trading? The market can be a little intimidating at first, but you don't have to be alone in the learning experience. We at the Pennies Going in Raw podcast are here to help you. I'm Dan, and with my co-host Hugh Henney, we make the stock market a fun but informative experience for our listeners. We offer knowledge for all levels of traders, from beginners to those who do it full time. On PGIR, we discuss up-to-date news about the stock market and interview other traders who all started out just like us and made it big. You'll hear from Hugh and other multi-millionaire traders, founders and CEOs of companies, FinTwit superstars, and even professional athletes. Have you ever thought about investing your hard-earned cash but don't know where to start? Do you have money just sitting in your savings account collecting dust? We were all there once too. Listen to Pennies Going in Raw on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, happy Mother's Day, guys.
Well, happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
You're the only mother.
I am a mom. Did you guys do anything nice for your moms today?
Barely remembered to call, but
Oh.
I've been with her
Luckily, I
all week.
reminded
I've been
you.
with her all week at the beach, so that's why.
So you,
Sure, but
it's been Mother Day week for you. So
Yes,
you've been-
yes, Mother's Week.
Yeah. Sure. What
I,
did you do for your mom? And where are you?
Where am I? I'm in my apartment.
Oh, looks different. You must have your mood light, your lava lamp really rocking tonight.
Yeah, my window is open. But no, well she's in Florida, so I gave her a call. We did a little FaceTime, and I ordered her some stuff that's gonna be coming in the mail for her, some gifts. And my grandma, she had a church thing that she was doing, but I gave her a call, and I'm gonna get together with her this week, hopefully. My mom is actually coming up to the city, so I'm gonna see how I plan it. If I want to see her, then see them all together or what. But I like to try to see her as much as possible because she is getting older, so
Sure.
and she's kind of all by herself. Yeah.
Sure. All right. Valor, what would you like me to call you on this very special Penny Lane Pod episode?
You can call me whatever you want to. My name's Ryan, so you can call me that.
Great. I'd rather just call you Ryan. You can see I'm messing up already. Ryan,
You're the one
you
notorious
have
for calling everyone by their aliases, so.
me, I don't know. I feel like everyone calls me Penny. It's just part of the thing, right? I mean,
I try to catch myself, but yes.
yeah.
And you're rocking your beats today.
Always. So, Ryan, you have a new baby. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, it's my second. It's been a wild last few months,
Yes.
to say the least.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seems
Yeah.
like a lot. It's all happening at once for you. A lot of good stuff, but
Yeah.
a lot of
My wife
things.
is awesome, though, so.
Yeah.
A real baby and a software baby?
Two babies.
How did you celebrate your wife today?
Oh, wow. What put me on the spot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's better be good.
Nothing
Come up
crazy.
with something if it's not true.
My oldest kid and I went out and picked some stuff out for her. We're going to do a garden in our backyard. And so that was like the primary thing.
That's great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then we went and saw a movie. So we just like got out. So
You took the baby to
no,
the
we got a
baby?
babysitter.
Cool. The only thing I wanted for Mother's Day was for us all to go to the Home Depot together because I'm like a huge gardener and I don't have my garden in because I've been busy. So I wanted to go get all my things. What did you get at the garden store? Are you growing fruits,
No,
vegetables?
we just got like vegetable seeds and stuff. It was more like symbolic gift on this is like what we will be doing.
Sure.
So
Yeah. Okay, well, from a gardener who has gardened for a while, time to get those seeds in the ground.
good to know. All right,
For
we'll do.
a while.
Yeah. See, it's planning time. It's planning season.
It's time to, yeah. No, I love gardening myself. Something, I mean, I could do stuff on my roof, but I used to do it a lot in Florida. And it's just, for me, it's such a nice contrast from doing the trading stuff
Sure.
to be able to get in the dirt, and I just find it really therapeutic and rewarding. And I remember when like we were growing like hot peppers and potatoes, and we made like we roasted the potatoes with the peppers, and rosemary that we grew.
Now, this is in
And,
Florida?
it's really good. Yeah.
God, Florida has the best longitude for...
It has a lot of sun, but the reason that oranges and stuff grow, the soil is pretty acidic, so
Yeah.
I think that's why like the citrus is so big down there.
Did you know that Florida has the same longitude as the south of France? And it's just like glorious there. You go there and it's like a lemon and a lime and like all the things, and it's beautiful.
Mojitos and margaritas, depending on which water fountain, quote unquote, you go to, it's not water, it's actually mojito, or you get
Oh, there you go. There you go. My friend Jason Spadafora does a lot of gardening. Whenever he's trading on his phone, he's gardening. Apparently it's a thing. Bo, do you garden?
I have a beautiful garden full of weeds in my front yard right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you rent?
Clovers sprouting up everywhere.
Do you rent?
But it looks like
or
you got a
own?
Telecaster in there in the back.
I own my house. I just don't have the green thumb like that.
Cool. All right. Well, speaking of green thumb, I have no transition. But would you like to talk about Tradewell? So,
Well, it was an honest try,
I mean,
Speaking of being
Well,
green,
here we
if
go.
you're
Yeah,
green,
exactly.
Your
There you
thumb is
go.
also green.
There you go. That's what I was gonna go. If you want to be green, and work that green thumb, then
yes.
gotta get on the journaling.
Yes.
Good transition,
yes.
Blaine. Good
Yes,
transition.
this is why Bo helps on the PLP on the reg. I fail at things, and then he just picks me right up. So speaking of being green, Ryan, can you walk me through how you first got your idea for Tradewell?
Yeah, I do want to say that just because you have a Tradewell subscription does not mean you're going to be green. So, but it can help. Yeah, so I have a similar story to a lot of people. I'm a software engineer by trade, and I started trading about a year and a half ago, roughly around that timeline, and ever since I've been fighting to be profitable. Every month you learn something new, and I really found my home in pretty much options day trading, and with that there's a lot of tools and stuff that are really helpful. And so I got really into using options flow, and I think that it's probably the most important thing, that you treat your trading like a business. And so journaling is huge, like knowing whether like you are trading certain setups, basically like what's working for you and what isn't. Those are the key like data points and analysis you need to do on if something's not working for you, then you need to like switch it up or figure it out. And so I was fighting to be profitable. It wasn't working with a lot of money, and I was paying over $100 a month for different tools. And yeah, I felt like I could build something of, I'm going to say, similar quality, not feature parity, but for way cheaper. And so kind of the vision was, I want to build something for the person who's fighting to be profitable and make it affordable to where that person who isn't making a ton of money from the stock market yet can't afford it. And there's a lot of people out there, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. So how specifically did you choose flow and journaling as like the two things you wanted to incorporate into?
So I do want to say real quick, the mission of Tradewell is really to be kind of like an all-in-one platform outside of your broker. It's not necessarily just a flow and a journaling tool, even though that's how we're marketing ourselves right now, because those are the two flagship features that we have launched. And so I think that how I picked that was because those were the two primary services I was paying for. And yeah, I mean, that's a simple answer. So
Yeah. Yeah. So flow is, I'm an options trader, and it's a little bit of one of those things that like conceptually I understand, but like day to day I have maybe like a little bit of trouble with just exactly what it is. Would you tell me, like I am 5 years old, exactly what it is?
I mean, yeah. It's pretty simple. It's just it's the real time viewing of large money orders that are purchasing certain option contracts, and that's it. Like the platform will give
Okay.
you a lot of functionality and filtering around what you're actually looking to, like what you're kind of trying to narrow things down to view. And Shark and I have even talked about giving different profiles for people, like preset filters on allowing people to just jump to like I want the day trading filter set to help me narrow down the most on what I'm actually wanting to see. And so, I mean, how I use it trading personally, it's more just a reference than it's anything. I don't use it for trade ideas. If I'm looking to trade Tesla, I'm going to be using technical analysis first and foremost, or whatever strategy I'm using. But I do pull up Tesla Flow, and there have been a lot of times where I take trades, and like whether it's like a bull flag that's about to break out, you see that hammered in the flow if you're looking in the right place. And so I use it for confirmation.
Shark, this might be more for you. Is if you see a lot of flow, we'll use Apple since it's me. Let's say you see a lot of like.
Are you sure you don't want to
flow.
use a BBV?
Well, that's a great stock. Don't talk bad about her. If I see a lot of flow coming in on Apple, calls flow, let's say, is that going to like provide liquidity in my trade, or is it going to mean that I have like maybe missed the move, or is it just should I look at the chart more to see if there's something that perhaps I'm not seeing?
Well, no, I think it can give you like what Ryan was saying. It can give you confirmation. I think it can give you also kind of a general idea of sentiment on a particular stock. You know, if it's strong on the day, plus you see a lot of call flow, and you know, on Tradewell, if you look up an individual stock, you'll be able to see the breakdown for that stock in particular. You know, the amount of calls to puts.
And does that ratio represent whether it's bullish or bearish or
Well, yeah, if you see just, you know, as an arbitrary number, you know, 10 million in calls, but only 3 million in puts, you know, then it's obviously it's clearly that more people are bullish, you know, in that given time. Now, of course, you have to look up and look at the different expirations. You know, if you're noticing people trading, you know, 3 months out, 2 months out, that might be a little bit different. But there are also traders that have the money to be able to day trade month or 2 month out contracts as well. You know, that is also a possibility. So if you're seeing a mixed bag, you know, then you could see a good amount of short dated contracts plus some longer ones. Okay, now, you know, the stock is strong. It had a PR today, for example. Okay, now I'm building my thesis of something actionable that I can make a trade off of. Now, of course, you're going to use the chart, like you said. You're not just going to say, "Oh, there's a." Now, as far as the liquidity, yes, it's going to be giving liquidity if you're in the contracts that are hitting the scanner. You know, because then, you know, someone just bought 3,000, 2,000. They're going to have to sell those 2,000, 3,000 contracts. So yes, there is a dimension of added liquidity. It depends on the stock. I mean, Apple's pretty liquid, you know, as it is. So, but yeah.
Remember that time that I was on a podcast interview with a really huge trader and had to text you, what is liquidity? This was not long ago. That was one of my favorite moments. So is flow, do options have a level 2 that I don't know about?
The options contract itself does have a level 2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So is flow kind of like time and sales for options? you're going to have to forgive me. I really do want to know the answers to these questions.
No, they're the time and sales are the time and sales are showing the orders as they go through. Whether, you put in your order 5 contracts, you're going to see a timestamp that says 10:45 of course it won't say your name. It'll just tell you, that someone bought 5 contracts. And so that's the time and sales, seeing, just the same as Apple. Someone bought 500 shares, someone bought 300 shares, someone sold 200 shares. That you'll see that all going bang, 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 bang down. But the options has the same time and sales. They have level 2.
So Flow is a third tool to go with those. Yeah.
It's telling you whether maybe institutional or retail buyers are, the larger orders. I think the lowest we go is 25,000, but pretty much 25,000 and up, you're seeing any.
And that's the whole point. Sorry, go ahead, Buffo.
Is 25,000 the dollar amount or the contract amount?
Yep.
Oh, the dollar amount. I think that's the filter, right?
That's our baseline limit.
That's where we set the limit.
For total value, at least. And I do want to say that's kind of the whole reason why.
Right.
There are a lot of good Flow services out there, ones that have a lot more features than we do. But I feel like the entry to barrier for a lot of people with those is that there's a lot of information. And I don't think a lot of people use Flow as the primary source for their trading. And so I don't think a lot of people can justify the price tag that comes with a lot of Flow, right? And so the mission of Tradewell is not to become the premier Flow tool in and of itself. We will mature it over time, but the goal is to give everyone access to real-time options flow, if that makes sense. Yeah. That's the point. Like
bringing it
if
to
you
the
look
people.
at Unusual Whales, Cheddar Flow, Whalestream,
totally.
all of these great platforms, like you're going to get a lot more for your, not for a lot more for your money, but you're going to get a lot more features than we currently have. But that's not our goal. That's not our mission. Yeah.
And we're going to be adding them anyway, and so we're going to have some stuff up our sleeves, as things develop. So I'm looking forward to that. Snack said Flow is like the time and sales for options. I could see what you mean by that in a sense.
Thank you.
In a way, I mean it's not exactly the same, but I understand what they mean by it.
It takes a higher level of thinking to really get that, Shark. So I mean,
yeah, in a sense, maybe if they're hitting the same contract again and again, yes, you can say, oh, someone bought 500 contracts on this particular date. Just say May 14th, Apple 150 calls or something, but the nitty gritty of time and sales are just the prints themselves. When someone says, what's the tape, what's the time and sales, that's just the prints that are individually going through.
Cool.
So, but I understand what it's saying.
Thanks, Snacks. All right. So we've got the flow, and then the other huge part of Tradewell is the journaling piece. And I would like to just go around the virtual room and talk about what everyone thinks the main benefits are of journaling. This episode is sponsored by Aries, the newest trading broker offering both mobile and desktop trading. The app is built for retail traders by retail traders, and they welcome user feedback. Do you ever nail the entry on a trade but can't get filled? You won't need to worry about that anymore because they are a self-clearing brokerage direct to exchange with TradeStation, and they are much faster than other brokerages that route through a clearinghouse. Aries is a multi-asset platform. You are able to trade stocks, options, futures, index options, crypto, and micros. You are also able to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies. Lastly, earn up to 5% interest on eligible crypto assets with no lockups. Aries has partners and offers many free tools such as advanced charting, TradingView with unlimited charting and indicators, free options flow, dark pool data, and many more tools on their roadmap to come. This is on average a $50 to $100 per month value, all for free. Finally, you can withdraw and deposit actual crypto and transfer to the US dollar and use it to trade any trading assets offered. Aries is the first brokerage to offer this. Please click the link in our bio or go to www.tradearies.com/PennyLane to sign up for an account today. Ryan, why don't we start with you?
Start with BOFO.
Well, we're going to BOFO. We're doing a deep dive on BOFO. Don't worry about it. But let's start with you. He already knows. He got a pretext.
Okay, fantastic. I did not get that. So
I know. Coming at you live.
Hey, someone's saying the top right corner. It says, "Hi, Daddy, looking pretty cute." BOFO, looks like you have an admirer here in the chat.
No, I'm not top right corner. Right?
Maybe I don't know how it's showing on.
I think that's Ryan.
All right, let me.
What?
Oh,
Ryan's on the bottom.
Oh, you know what? It's me. Just checked it out. Okay. Okay.
I mean, sorry, repeat the question again.
Kind
of forgot what it was.
Detour there.
What are the benefits of journaling while trading? Or not while trading, in trading. With day trading, let's call it.
Or swing trading, or
Yes.
or investing. I mean, what are the benefits? It probably have an easier time coming up with a shorter list of cons.
Well, just for people who don't do it and who might.
Yeah. So I mentioned earlier, like I personally think, and I'm not yet a super profitable trader, so don't take this as like any kind of advice, but I do think that it's very important to treat your trading like a business. And if you are trying to become profitable and you are trying to, sorry, I lost my train of thought. If you're trying to become profitable and you are not getting any sort of analysis around your performance, then it's nearly impossible to know. Taking, for example, our reports page. If you're having a huge amount of trouble trading, let's say market open, having some kind of data tool to give you that insight is really valuable. Now, I do want to say there are two different types of analysis that we have inside Tradewell. We have the reporting, which the primary goal for that is your actual accumulative return performance. And then there's the analysis page. And the analysis is meant for you to be able to compare different things. So whether you're trying to compare your trading performance, trading long or trading short, or you are tracking your setups, that is all like the type of things that you can and should be doing inside Tradewell.
Cool. That was really interesting. Remember when we imported my trades and I thought I was such a badass puts trader, and then we learned
you had an awesome profit curve. Yeah.
I was better at calls. Yeah, that profit curve is gone. Now we're starting over. We're starting over tomorrow. It's gonna be fine, hopefully.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Just maybe.
She'll laugh, half cry. That was great.
All right. Well, Bofo, you are our expert journaler. Yeah, oh, hi. I remember from the podcast we did together doing a deep dive on how journaling has helped you. And if you guys have not listened to that episode, let's give a recap.
Yeah, I am going to go so far as to say that if you are serious about trading, I don't know how you could not journal. It's so crucial to bettering yourself and bettering your craft. There are so many things that are going on in your trading that I can guarantee you're unaware of without a sophisticated journaling software to rely on. So you can go in and you can use Excel and you can do it all manually. But if you're like me, I don't want to spend that time. I'm never going to keep up with it. I'm a scalper. I take a lot of trades a day. That's just too much for me. So with something like Tradewell, I can upload my data direct from my broker into the platform, and it spits out all this great data for me. Like maybe I didn't know how poorly I was trading the open in May or in April or in March. And then all of a sudden I have all these graphs and all of this data to tell me I need to work on this. I'm screwing up this. So then I can deep dive into all those trades and see where my executions were. I can analyze what I did wrong, maybe something that I missed before. That is how you get better at this. I don't know another way. Like this is 101. So I love that this is part of what we've launched in the very beginning with Tradewell, because it is the base tool for every trader that is taking this seriously, in my opinion.
I really like your passion about journaling. Always have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to journal.
Got to journal. Okay, so you think it is vital. Also, Shark believes it's vital. In the Shark Tank, he makes us fill out report cards. And yeah, I took those very seriously for a while, fell off the horse, but that certainly having to go back and be honest even about what I did during the day kept me from doing a lot of stupid things. Yeah, which I have also found with journaling. Maybe I won't take a trade just because I don't really want to see it later. You know what I mean?
No. Let's just take a use case real quick. Let's say
all right,
your favorite setup, what you like to do is you like to play off of zones, or you like supply and demand, right? How are you supposed to know over the last 6 months how you've been actually performing with that? Like truly. You have to journal and you have to tag your trades.
Yeah.
Shark, do we have any questions on the YouTube?
No, but a funny comment. Snack says, he goes, now I get to see my 150 plus scalps on Tradewell.
Snack's been killing it recently.
Yeah, it's
But that's why you need, like, if you really are taking that many trades a day, like, how in the world are you going to assess your performance without something that takes that data and does something with it for you?
Yeah. It's so important to have, the actionable, information about how you're trading. Like Ryan said, this is a business at the end of the day, and every setup that you take, every trade that you take is supposed to be a trade that has an edge. But how are you supposed to measure that edge or define that edge if you have no data? You could think that you're killing these trades, but then you look it up, after a data set of just say 50 and say, oh, wow, my win rate is only, 30% on these. It's not what I thought it was. And then you can either adjust or size down, use that, you still want to take those trades, just say, but okay, I can see that it's a little bit of a less successful edge for me or win rate, so I'm going to size down. And I talk about this a lot in the tank or online about, as far as being a business. That's why I really encourage every trader to have a playbook. You have your A setups, you have your B setups, you have your C setups. Those all have different defined sets of risk, and Tradewell is a great tool to be able to understand what and build that playbook. What are your A setups? What are the best things that you're trading? And then being able to work on your sizing and your execution along each one of those different types of trades that you like to take. Otherwise, because a lot of traders, I feel like, get into the market every day and with no game plan, nothing that they're actually set on working on or improving on. And I think what's really great about journaling is it gives you something to say, okay, this week I'm working on bringing this win percentage up, or making this my total losing trade $50 less, my average losing trade $50 less. That's a tool that I'm going to work on this whole week. But there's no way you're going to know that in the most time. Yes, you can do it on Excel, but like Bofo was saying, it takes forever. Who has the time to do that? Most people are working a regular job and doing this. This cuts it out really nicely. You can just import it. Boom, you can set a goal. Okay, this week my average loss trade, losing trade was $200. This week I'm working on making it my average losing trade be $150. How are you going to know that without journaling and being able to improve your business plan?
Also, it's passive. Like, if you were to write your own Excel program to do this stuff, you have to have very clear intentions in mind at the beginning of this is what I want to track. And that might be an important data set for you, but I'll give you an example. When I go back and look at, let's say the past 6 or 8 months, I look and see that, wow, I've been very consistent and profitable when I stick to these certain things. I can almost go back month by month and see, because I'm a small cap trader, and I can see like, oh yeah, market got slow right here. So I went and tried to trade SPY options, and I can see that SPY was my losingest name during this duration. And then then same thing with Tesla, and then same thing with, whatever other mid large caps I was doing. So eventually I was like, man, I really suck at these large caps. I need to stick with what I know in small caps, even when stuff's slow, opportunities there. If I stick to that and I cull out all these mistakes that I made, like I can see like, wow, look how much I drug myself down by doing this garbage that I didn't set out to find that information, but the platform's telling me, right there.
Having you guys look through my journal is, obviously I haven't been sharing it on Twitter because it's just so horrible, all of these. But here we are live on YouTube for everybody to see. Couldn't share it on Twitter, but let's just go through it here.
Happy Mother's Day.
Jeez.
We can call it a diary if you want.
Yeah.
It looks like we lost Ryan, but he might be restarting his
remember this
his
time? This was such a beautiful week here.
Someone asked a question, and this might be
from Daz for historical dates. Put them individually. Ryan's going to be the best one to ask or answer the broker specific questions. Just return set the tradewell profit ratio.
You have to, as of right now, you have to save your trade files every day and upload them. Right?
Yeah, or you could do it once a week. You could do it weekly, but it probably would be better to do it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it any duration that you want. I know that some others have like that auto syncing integration deal. I personally had issues using that with some other products. So
Same.
even on those, I've been just exporting my file and uploading.
Totally. So this is your main dashboard in Tradewell, and you can add different widgets here. So you can totally customize this dashboard, which is very cool. No problem.
There
and
he
you
is.
can move all of this around, which is great. And cool. IPOs.
We had another question that I think Ryan would be better suited for. Someone was asking, can I auto import from DOS for historical dates, or do I have to save my trade files every day and then upload them individually?
Say that again, sorry.
Can I auto import from DOS for historical dates, or do I have to save my trade files every day and upload them individually?
I don't know what DOS is, like the operating system.
Oh no,
DOS
I think it's
is
like DAS Trader.
Yeah, DAS Trader.
Oh, got you. So yeah, right now, how we're going about our broker integration is we've made a list of all the brokers that allow you to authenticate accounts. And we have security concerns from Tradewell side on whether or not we want to, if like the security protocol is up to par, and whether or not we feel comfortable housing that data. And so we're trying to get it to where we can auto import every day. The first one that we would do is TD Ameritrade. But right now you need to export your trades every day and do it, which is only once a day. So.
Yeah.
Yep. Is there anything else, Ryan, about the dashboard? We're open to feedback. You can add a widget and you can move your widgets around. Anything else?
No, this is just really meant for high level view of certain information.
Cool.
So,
All right, well, we can go into live flow. Obviously, the market's not open, so there's no flow.
Do you get risk-adjusted return? I'm looking at mine right now. It tells me, and as far as the reports, I'm just answering Roberto's question. As far
Go to
as in the
reports,
reports, you get total return, average daily return, average winning trade, average losing trade, largest gain, largest loss, total number of trades, and then that breaks it down, how many wins, how many lost, and then how many long, how many short. And then when you go under, you get cumulative return by the day, win percentage by the day, day of the week performance, intraday performance as far as the times, top performing tickers. So it's really really great.
Yeah, we do have with two of our brokers, we have an issue with the timestamp that is coming back from your broker, Thinkorswim being one, to where your times will not be super accurate right now, but we are working on it.
Guys, look how bad I am at trading the cues. Dr. Bullshark will be so upset with me.
But see, that's so good to know.
Yeah, action item.
Yeah.
No more cues for me.
Or Blaine, if your interview with Jared, I think his name is Jared.
Tindler?
Yeah, Tindler. The Band-Aid would be don't trade the cues, right? So figure out what's going wrong and get better at it. Attack your weakness.
First of all, thank you for listening to that episode. I really appreciate it. That episode was like life-changing. And, I hired him as a coach. Did you know that?
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, I've got my first meeting on Thursday. Can't wait.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Me too. Yeah, that guy. Check him out. Jared Tindler, trading coach extraordinaire. I didn't even know you could do this. This is cool.
Yeah, so this is some of the new stuff that Ryan's been working on, which such good data to know.
Totally.
Like, Blaine, you just need to take off the first half of the week, apparently.
I thought Friday was my worst day. Seriously.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay, all right. Well, also, this is interesting, this 9:30 here.
Yeah, that would be 11:30 your time or Eastern time, market time.
Oh, okay.
Which is what I was talking about, the bug right now.
Cool.
Having an issue with those timestamps.
Cool.
Derek is asking, I trade mostly from my phone. Is the site eventually going to be more mobile friendly?
Yes, we're working on that right now. I will say that there's a lot of features that are pretty like GPU intensive, I would say. And so you're going to get the best experience at your desktop. But yes, we are working on making it mobile responsive.
I mean, regardless if you're trading on your phone, that's still going into your broker statement when you get home from work or from your day, just, when you're doing whatever you got to do, just hop on your computer, you can still get your trade file and from your broker on your desktop, and then, there won't be any difference, and then you can still just upload it and enjoy the full functionality.
Cool. This is cool. Too. We haven't been over this page.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can pick your...
You don't have any setups.
Can you... What? I'm supposed to add them?
Yeah,
I'm about
so
to
your setups...
start, journaling
your
super
setups,
hardcore,
yeah.
So...
Your setups and mistakes are like, they're tags for you.
Okay.
So go to the dashboard. Go to an Insights dashboard real quick.
All right.
No, Insights dashboard, sorry.
Sorry.
So you can, on the left side, you can bulk select your trades. I wouldn't do all of them, but I would select a couple. And you can go at the bottom right and add setups for all three of these trades, or you can add a mistake. And this is like the way you go about it.
Okay, how do you add the setup?
Type.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, you can go through later and do all that, but that's kind of the analytics portion, the trade analysis page. It's more so a comparison tool, giving you different ways to view your data and changing up the metric or the category of what you're looking at. So the primary function is your setups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tag your trades with your setups, and you can give a good like profit over time view of how your setups are doing compared to other ones, or like what mistakes are the most costly for you, etc.
Cool.
But it's very dependent on user input for sure.
So, for example, Blaine, if you were to select, it already does short and long for you. So you can look at your long trades and you can look at your short trades.
Yeah, go
and
trade
that's
analysis.
almost that's like a tag almost right there.
So in categories, the top right corner, select sides, and this gives you like your performance over time of comparing like you trading long versus you trading short.
Bear Blaine.
Yes, that was a good bear flag.
Love a good bear flag. My favorite setup. Cool. All right. Is there anything else about Tradewell right now that we want to go over while I've got it up?
No. I mean, you can show them the calendar real quick. It's hidden.
Oh, somebody had a question here. Can you resize the widgets on the dashboard?
Not currently. We have 2 columns you can put them in.
Okay.
Cool. Is this the calendar you wanted me to go to? No.
Oh no, sorry.
It's in Insights.
Yeah, it's kind of hidden right now. We're trying to figure out the best way to put it. But if you go back to trade analysis, and you under view type select calendar.
Where does it say view type?
Top right,
right.
next to categories.
Irrational exuberance? When it comes to killer wine at drastically low prices, 30 to 70% off retail and free shipping, we live for that here at Last Bottle Wines. Whether you went long or short on GameStop, you'll need a glass of something terrifically tasty, and we've got the goods. Last Bottle is a daily wine site based in Napa, California. One wine every day at Black Swan event prices, usually 30 to 70% off until, poof, it's gone. Whether you're a pound-the-table type, think ultra-crisp, quaffable Sauvignon Blanc, or a dividend aristocrat, Burgundy, or Napa Cab, there simply is no better place to buy wine on the web, and they always have free shipping. Last Bottle has a deal just for Penny Lane listeners. Use promo code PENNY10 to save 10% on your next order with Last Bottle. The code is good for one order and one order only.
And then is this shareable? Because I've seen people sharing this.
People have just been screenshotting it.
Cool.
The things that we're trying to actually provide that more shareable items are things that have a lot more data to them, and it's more data driven than it is like a visual, because you can take a screenshot of this and have the full effect, versus if you're sharing flow or if you're trying to share your entire day, that's a lot of data that it'd be really hard to represent in a screenshot. And so we made it easy for you to share your day by
Cool. Let's show.
accumulating all of that information into one spot and just giving you an image.
So you can do whatever you want, and then just hit share. And then
Yes.
you can share to Twitter, and then all you have to do is just copy the image and paste it right in your tweet. How easy is that?
1, 2,
Love it.
3.
Game changer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do that with your that's your daily recap. You can do that with a single trade.
Wait, how do you get to the daily recap again? Can you show me? Sorry.
Insights and then daily journal. There's the shared journal entry. So yeah, you have the daily recap.
There we
You
go,
can
okay.
share a single trade, and probably the thing that outside of like Webull doing this with just like a percentage, we wanted to provide a lot more like data around it, or a lot more information. But if you ever see someone share flow, they are screenshotting a very long row, and it is very hard to see. And so, like, especially if it's a single flow, sharing flow is way easier inside Tradewell than anywhere else. Absolutely.
Someone was asking, would you recommend keeping the tags, setup, descriptions to 1-2 words, keep them simple to be useful?
I think on this one, it's less. I mean, yeah, you want to keep it concise, but it's less about like how long your tag is and more about like, don't just flood yourself with too many tags. Like, you'll just create more work for yourself, and it's not going to be as useful. Like, really try to think about like, what are the tags that are going to be very useful for me to know and separate my data from other ones. Like, you know, maybe you play a lot of ascending triangles. You know, that might be a good tag.
Yep.
But you don't want to do like, 3-minute flag, 5-minute flag, 10-minute flag.
Right.
You know?
You can do different ones. Like, you can have a setup tag for yourself that is an ascending triangle, right? And then if you really want to, you can put a 3-minute tag and have it like, if you want to compare like you trading off of a 3-minute chart or a 5 or a 10, whatever it is. I wouldn't get overly too descriptive. I would make them generic, like Bofo was saying.
Cool.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Do we have any other questions?
I didn't see any other ones.
One of the biggest questions that we've been getting is, how do you change your name? Because a lot of people authenticate via Google, and it has their actual full name.
Yep.
And so when you share images, it's saying shared by. How would you go about and do that? Yeah, it's in settings. You can go and change your name to whatever you want it to be displayed as.
Ooh, should I have a new name? Look at
Maybe,
that.
if you want.
I made mine Bofo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is like the primary reason why we wanted to give the user authentication via Discord and Twitter, is because we wanted them to, a lot of people are under aliases, right? We wanted to give them the ability to just import their persona from somewhere else and have that replicate in Tradewell. Shark is a great example.
Yeah.
And like
Shark.
have his logo down there, etc. So
For sure. So, Ryan, what do the next few months look like for you and for Tradewell? What are your sort of biggest goals?
oh man, we have a lot of goals. I don't even know where to start with that. We have been discussing how to include more value for small cap traders, and so we're. 'Cause I understand that a lot of small cap like penny stock traders don't necessarily use option flow. I would once again want to reiterate the fact that we're just trying to get people access to flow. We don't really expect everyone to, like, flow is never going to be like your primary source for trade ideas, right? A lot of people do use that, and a lot of people use that, I would say, decently successfully with unusual whales. We're just providing reference, and so providing more value for small caps traders. I don't know. I have an entire list of features that we want to get out, and we just have to prioritize them. And we keep getting more every day from people who are using it. So, like, one good example is I want to give the ability for people to create their own custom signals. Give them the ability to set the criteria to listen during the flow for every day and alert them when something happens.
Cool.
Authenticating brokers directly, so you don't have to manually import them every day, is big. But once again, we have some security issues, and it's really dependent on your broker on whether or not they allow us to do that. So
Cool. I am going to drop my own personal code in the chat. And so usually Tradewell costs $35 a month, but if you use my code, you can get it for $30 a month and 2 weeks free. Maybe, do you always get 2 weeks free? Anyone who signs up?
Yeah, everyone will get 2 weeks free trial.
All right, well, don't use the code if you don't want to. Just sign up. Try it for 2 weeks.
Well,
If
no,
don't
you
like
want to
it, no
use the
pressure.
code. You want to use someone's code because, I mean, unless you just want to give us an extra $5 a month. That's like that's the big piece is you want to use someone's code because you want to pay $30 a month, not $35. So
Totally. And it supports the podcast. It supports the whole thing. So if you like the podcast, you want to try Tradewell, use the code. Use the code.
Use the
Use
code.
the code.
Use the code. Use the code.
All right, guys. Well, we have about 10 minutes left. Bofo, do you have any questions for Ryan?
Man, Ryan and I have chatted a lot about journaling, so I don't think I have any questions.
Cool. Shark, any questions?
No, I think we covered all the pretty much all the bases. We did a pretty good run through. Let's see if anyone's saying anything in the chat.
I appreciate you
No,
manning
just
the
see a
chat
quote.
for questions. Someone needed to do that, and I appreciate you jumping in there.
But no,
I'm not interested.
excited.
Don't ask me questions. Ask these guy questions.
No, I'm asking if they have questions for you. Oh, do
I know. I'm saying I'm not interesting. Why would they want to ask me a question?
Well, it's Tradewell centric. Do I questions for you guys? I've asked you guys all my questions. Well, actually, Shark, in your mind, if you were going to journal all your trades, what do you think your most taken setup would be?
Mine, probably either a bull flag or a bear flag. Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. What about you, Bofo?
I am definitely in small caps, and it's probably going to be 5-minute flags, and more specifically in pre-market or the first hour and a half of the trading day.
Man, we love flags here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I like that on the small caps. I always did like the sometimes they get the power hour push into after hours, which was always fun.
Yes,
You know,
and
sometimes they would squeeze, then they pull back, but then they would keep going in after hours, and then they would run like another $2 or $3 in after hours. You know?
And that happens. But what I've learned again through journaling is if I sit around all day and wait for that to happen, my mental fatigue has set in.
Right,
and then
right.
I'm like forcing something, and I'm on the wrong
well,
game.
you leave and come back and just be like, oh. let
And
me
that's
check
what
on
I
the
need
last
to do.
day.
I need to come back and see fresh Momo and jump in. But
Yeah, just see, yeah.
Do you?
usually,
I mean, I don't know how it is in the small cap world, but I always remember it back in the day.
Yeah.
Those
it's
were fun.
tough, man. It's tough sledding right now.
Having to
Well,
go.
I think it happens in Veru, which is kind of a mid cap, but I think that was doing it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I consider that a small. I mean, it's behaves
Were you
like a
watching
small
that?
cap.
Did you
Oh,
see
yeah,
that
yeah.
have
Oh,
that run? Yeah, it was up
traded that a
45%
bunch.
one of the days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Veru.
I always that was like when I knew that I just had really screwed up the day, when it would be like 3:00 and I'd just be down so bad and wouldn't have cut whatever small cap, and I'm like, maybe it'll run in after hours.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? But had that conversation with myself a ton. Shark, are you looking for your flags? I already know the answer, but are you looking for your flags on the 1 minute? I'm just joking. I'm just joking with you. What time frame were you using to find your flags?
Yeah, usually the 15 or the I'll peek at the 10 here and there, but yeah, usually the 15.
Yeah. Bofo, are you a 3 minute?
I'm not. I'm a 1 and a 5.
Yeeks! Whenever my heart feels like I feel like I can't breathe, it's literally every single time it's because I'm on the 1 minute. I'm like, what am I doing on here? But
Yeah, that's
in the morning though. It's good. Like I could justify using a 5 minute at like 9:45. Coming into 10, then just kind of looking over at the 10. Because you still caps
Shark,
up.
be 100% transparent with me. During the trading day, you never go to the 1. Is that true or false?
That's 100% true.
You're
never
never
go.
on the 1.
Never. It's not even on my broker. It's not even an option. I don't have it. I mean, it's just crazy. Never.
All right. Well,
But that's the difference between large and small caps. Like the moves on small caps are confined to such a small amount of time. Like large caps, they're usually making moves that have been setting up for a much bigger time. If you get news on a small cap, I mean, the move could be done by the time you get 3 or 4 candles in a 15-minute chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are good little small cap days.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. They also, you know, I'm not 100% on how they move now. You know, be totally different as well. And you know, I know that the environment's a lot different than it used to be. So you might, you know, I remember you had those. Man, like 3 years ago, remember that you used to have like 2 or 3 100% gainers in the morning, you know, on the scanner.
Yeah.
And then you could pick from one of those, and then like at least 2 of them, like one of them would go like 300%, and then another one would go like 175, and then one would be like 75%.
Yeah.
And you could trade those 3. It would be
Those
like
days
3
are
or 4
long
every
gone.
day. For a whole summer, I remember at one point. This was 3 or 4 years ago.
That was the whole thing when I first started, like last year when I first got in Brad's room, and we all were trading the hammer candles off open. That was like best, most fun trading I ever had, which if like basically that play was that the market would open and there'd be a massive red candle. You had to only trade a 5 minute. There'd be a huge red candle, and then during that 5 minutes it would push and push and push, and then the moment it turned green, you took the trade, and then like 10 times out of 10 it would halt. And it was awesome.
10 times out of 10 halters. Man, take me back to that market.
Right. And then the only thing you had to worry about was like, do I sell half when it unhalts or like, yes. Like, that's what I love about trading. I'm not in a halt. I haven't been in a halt in a year.
I would say it's a good thing, in my opinion.
Depends on how much you like the adrenaline. And I
we love halts in small cap land.
I was gonna say a little personal thing to get the Tradewell Twitter to 800 followers, because we were one off, but Mr. Trader on Twitter just got us there.
Thank you, Mr. Trader.
Hell yeah, Mr. Trader.
Yeah, 800 followers. I remember when we were at 75, and that was like 2 weeks ago. Look at us grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at us go. Look at us
pretty crazy.
grow. All right, well, as we wrap up, I would like to say that if you guys have any ideas for Tradewell, I think any of us would love to talk to you. We're all on Twitter. You don't just have to talk to Ryan. You can use any of us as conduits to Ryan. Is that the right word, conduit?
Yes.
Yes, there
That
we
is.
go. And if you are interested in trying Tradewell for 2 weeks, by all means, please do that. If at the end of 2 weeks there are things that you would like to see added or improved on, door's always open. I think any of us are willing to talk to you about that. So hit us up.
Yeah.
Any issues that you uncover, or if you run into a bug, there is a give feedback button at the top that you can fill out, or please don't hesitate to reach out to myself personally on Twitter or through Tradewell's Twitter account. Just send us a DM. We'll get you taken care of as quick as possible.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, guys. Well, this has been fun.
Okay.
Thank you guys all for joining us. I'm going to check one more time, see if there's any questions. No. But we will end.
5 minute flags of freedom.
Thank you,
Someone
Perch.
says
I
5
can't
minute
wait
flags
to
of
have you
freedom.
on the podcast soon. It's going to be good. All right, guys. Happy Mother's Day.
By accessing this podcast, you acknowledge that the Penny Lane podcast makes no warranty, guarantee, or representation as to the accuracy or sufficiency of the information featured in this podcast. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. This podcast should not be considered professional or financial advice. Unless specifically stated otherwise, the Penny Lane podcast does not endorse, approve, recommend, or certify any information, product, process, service, or organization presented or mentioned in this podcast, and information from this podcast should not be referenced in any way to imply such approval or endorsement. The third-party materials or content of any third-party site referenced in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the opinions, standards, or policies of the Penny Lane podcast. The Penny Lane podcast assumes no responsibility or liability for the accuracy or completeness of the content contained in third-party materials or on third-party sites referenced in this podcast, or the compliance with applicable laws of such materials and/or links referenced herein.